my pretty awkward fam. Happy Heart to Heart Friday episode. Oh, my friends, I've missed you. Again, these are just the episodes I look forward to the most because I feel like I get to unload on you. Thank you. You're like my therapists collectively. I also just feel like I get to share like secrets that I'm saving for you. So, for example, I had a idea for a post after I finished my launch. That's like what you saw in the launch, the front facing, the client signed, et cetera, all that jazz. What you didn't see behind the scenes. And as I was saying it, I was like, well, my heart to heart listeners, they've seen it. They know what's going on. So anyway, as I'm recording this, it is Sunday. Actually, it's Easter Sunday. It's Easter Sunday. I actually really love recording on Sundays. And we're not doing anything as a family. My dad's in a rehab facility, getting stronger. I was visiting with him yesterday, and my cousin's here visiting and helping out so much and staying an extra few weeks to help out, which has just been so incredible. Like, I'm so grateful for him. And my dad's been loving it, and he's helping him a lot with his tax practice. So I feel really, really great about that and the progress he's making. So he's there, and Mike and I are just having a low key day. I got some donuts. Luna's got a cute little Easter bandana from her groom the other day. They gave her a nice little Easter bandana. And besides doing a little bit of filming, I'm just going to rest because I am entering my challenge week, which if you are listening to this when it comes out and you were part of the challenge, you know how epic that was. And I'm saying it before it happens, but I know how epic it's going to be because I don't think, well, I shouldn't say this. We always put so much effort into everything we do. We really, really do. But this challenge in particular, it's a brand new topic. It's all original content. Like, it's really above and beyond. And I'm super proud of it. Like, I'm so proud of the quality of work that we have done this week as you listen to it, or as I'm getting ready to do. And I mean, I'm no new novice to challenges. I've been doing them to sell my offers since my Beachbody days, for a long time. I have created a course in 2018 called, or was it 2018 or 2019? I think it was it 2019? I think it was 2019, called How to Run a Bomb Ass Free Challenge, that eventually became called my Launch Like a Lady Boss course. So this is something I really love doing. It's a lot of work, but it serves my audience in such a beautiful way. And it really establishes so much trust. It builds so much brand loyalty. I never look at it as just this launch. Like, I'm going to have clients join my mastermind because of this launch, even though I'm not launching into my mastermind for this, but I have no doubt. I've already gotten a few VIP day clients. I've had a one-on-one client resign. I've had some big ticket things come through because of how I've been showing up. And so I sent out an email earlier this week about that. I love it. I really love doing it, but it is a lot of work, And so I make sure the day before I try to rest as much as possible. So besides doing a little bit of filming, I already worked out today, gonna have a donut after this. Besides that, and going over some things with Mike, because he's helping me out. He's going to be on live, taking questions in the chat and picking the winners of the day and all of that. Besides that, we are just going to relax, probably watch Ted Lasso. I'm going to make a nice HelloFresh dinner, go to bed probably like 8:30 for day one tomorrow. I get like so giddy, like I'm like excited and giddy for it. So, but anyway, so that's happening. Things with my dad. And, again, this might be TMI to some people, but this is my podcast. So I want to be honest with you guys. Mike and I are trying to conceive, and I got my period today. So a little bummed, obviously, a little sad. But even though I was disappointed this morning when I was just laying with Luna on the couch and just relaxing, I was reflecting, and I have been writing in my journal almost every night. I haven't the last few nights. I need to keep up with that, but to my future baby. And like just saying, yeah, we're here when you're ready. We're here when you're ready. And I really do believe that it's going to happen when it's meant to. And this is only the second time we tried. Last time we got pregnant on the third try. So I don't know if it'll happen this next time or the time after that. And I'm just going to trust that it's going to happen when it should. But for anyone in here, like you're with me in this room, for anyone who's listening, who has been on a trying to conceive journey, who has become pregnant or has lost a baby or who has had kids, or is trying at the same time as I am. First of all, if you are trying and you're open to it, please DM me. I love, love, love talking to other women who are trying at the same time. I feel like such camaraderie. I'm actually going to be joining a couple Facebook groups to be in a group with women who are trying, because it's just such a specific point of life. It's like every single month, not even every single month, every day, you're just like thinking about it, because you're either gearing up for, ovulation to get ready to do the deed, or you're in between ovulation and the day of your period, or when you test positive. And so it's like the 2 weeks in between is just torture. And I got my period 2 days early this time, which was a little disappointing. So it's tough. It's like an emotional roller coaster every single month. And even though I have such strong faith and I really do feel like so sure it's going to happen, and it's only been 2 times, you still get a little disappointed every time. And so, my heart goes out to you, because it sucks. Like when I woke up this morning, I was like, ugh, man, I thought I was gonna like maybe start my challenge week off with a really cool secret too, but it's all going to happen as it should. I know I keep saying that, but I need to keep saying that. I need to, because what is my other option? And this kind of brings me to like what I wanted to talk about today. Is I actually went to an energy healer this past week. One of my really close friends in Vegas, Yelaney Carter, definitely follow her on Instagram. She's incredible. She's facilitates a lot in every retreat I do. Having a mastermind retreat in Vegas in a few months, and she'll be hosting breath work and yoga. And she's done that for so many of my retreats. She's just one of those humans that is so incredibly gifted at so many things. You're like, how can one person be so gifted? It's wild. And she's just the most calming presence. Like whenever I spend time with her, like we had coffee date like a month ago, maybe it's like a month and a half ago now. And it was like, oh, my heart felt so full afterwards, like just the most life-giving person. And I was like, hey, I think I need an energy healing right now. We've got a lot going on, dad being sick, the launch coming up, trying to conceive, all these things we're holding space for. And I feel pretty good, but I just want to check in. And something she said is she actually felt I was really grounded. Like she did a little bit of clearing in some things, but overall, she's like, whatever you're doing, keep doing it, because considering everything that's happening right now in your life, you are really solid. And it was like, I almost kind of knew it, but I wanted to pay her to give me that confirmation. And it just feels really good, especially in person, because I like getting touched. Physical touch is my love language. So just anyone touching me makes me really happy. Please touch me. And it just was beautiful. And it just was exactly the confirmation I needed. And so I think that's why I'm approaching the trying to conceive and everything with my launch and everything with my dad and everything with clients and business and all that jazz. I feel, again, I said this last week, but I feel very grounded. I feel very like I am only focusing on what I can control. And there's so much I can't. I can't control the things that are going on with my dad. I can't control when I get pregnant. I can make myself as healthy as possible and do everything in my power, but I can't control when that happens. I can't control the outcome of my launch. I can only control what efforts I put in. And, there's just most of the things in life are out of control. And when we have so much energy put into the things we can't, it's a downhill battle. Like you're fighting a losing battle, and I've just kind of come to this realization over the last while. I don't know if it's like turning 35, when I turned 35 last June, but I'm closer to 36, which is crazy. But I don't know if it was that, or if it was just everything we've experienced in the last few years. When you experience so much grief and loss, it's like, in stress, you just put so much into perspective. But I feel very calm and just trusting and not as worried as I normally operate. And sure, I have my moments, I have my days, I have my episodes, of course, where I'm just like sad and upset and it's not fair. But overall, I feel really calm about everything and just so at peace. Like whatever happens. When we get pregnant, we're meant to get pregnant. Trusting everything with my dad will happen as it should. And I will be there every single second, trusting that the launch will go the way it's meant to. And money comes to me in expected and unexpected ways, and all of those things that I constantly am telling my clients, and really embodying that myself. And that's really what I've been focusing on in this last week or so. Well, I mean, way more than a week, but since I've talked to you in this last week or so, it's really been about like, how can I be as present as possible? How can I really make sure I'm not focusing on the stuff that I have zero control over? And it's working. And so for me, it's funny because I was talking to her, I was saying, I changed a lot of my routine up. I used to do a very long morning routine. It was about an hour and a half, and or like an hour. And I would do meditation and journaling and reading. And Luna says hi. I don't know if you could hear that bark. And reading, and I would exercise and all the stuff. I had like a long thing, and I love it. And it was great. And it was wonderful. But what I found was I'm so creative first thing in the morning, like so creative. That's when my brain is just going. And when I have all the juices flowing, and I just felt like I was forcing myself to do this routine before I started creating. And I was like, I'm feeling so called to just start creating right away. Why am I doing that? Why am I forcing myself? And I talked to her about it, and she's like, that's so normal to have that creativity. And she said that she does the same thing. So we both have similar mornings where, especially if we have things we want to get done creatively, or we're feeling especially creative, we will maybe grab a cup of coffee and go and get it done and do a routine, a morning routine, a journaling, a walking, a reading, whatever it is, a meditation later in the day. And so that's been something that, one, has helped me produce a plethora of content, gotten all of my emails, all my content, everything done way ahead. Well, not way ahead of time, but ahead of time enough. And just feel really like high quality too. Oh my gosh, Luna is barking up a storm. I'm so sorry. I might have to pause this if she doesn't stop. What is she barking at? She's with Mike. I know she's fine. She's probably just playing. Anyway, so I've been able to really produce high quality content. Like, yes, I've actually produced quite a quantity, but high quality. And it's been great. I've loved it. And then I'll go do my workout. Usually, if I'm not working out that day, I'll just go on a long walk with Luna and then do other stuff, client stuff, etc. And I end a little bit earlier. And then I've started to do reading in the afternoon or at night, journaling at night. And so I'm kind of switched my like morning routines, almost become my nighttime routine. And also because I'm kind of useless after like 4 p.m. Like I could occasionally do a call, but I can't create anything. I'm done, done. I'm that type. And I was like this in college, where I'd rather wake up at 4 a.m. and get something done if I have like a meeting at 8 or 6 or whatever. I never have meetings at 6, but let's say I did, right? I'd rather wake up so crazy early than force myself to do it at 6 p.m. because I'm done. I'm done by that time. It's just kind of funny. And in college, I used to wake up wildly early. Like I would have a test at like an 8 a.m. class, and I'd wake up at 4 a.m. to do a little cramming session. I mean, I always was prepared because I was just a nerd like that, but I'd always wanted to do like a last minute review of everything. And I'd wake up 4 hours early, get it done. And that's just how I operated, and it works for me. So kind of just this permission, you can change things up. Like I changed this up a few months ago, and I was like, I like this. And now, not every day, I don't create every single day. And especially this week that I'm coming into, most of the week, except for like Tuesday and Thursday, I'll probably do a little bit of creating because I don't have lives. The challenge I'm running is a Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I'm doing some pop-up lives, but it's not as structured and with slides and all of this and a big Zoom room. And so Tuesday and Thursday, I'll probably do some creation in the morning to solidify some things for actual open cart next week. But other than that, I'll probably do my old traditional morning routine because I don't have to create. I don't have anything on the calendar for that. So it'll be a little different this week, actually, because I've been creating a lot. Like I would say 4 or 5 days out of the week, I've been doing some kind of creation. That's what happens when you're launching and redoing a program curriculum. So it's been many, many things we're juggling, it's not like I was doing one or the other. I was doing both at the same time, which, it's a lot of work. I'd probably recommend trying to do one at a time, but I committed to it and I've timed it out where I could get it done. So it's fine. I'm still getting great sleep and all that jazz, but something go back to the energy healing, she said, like, what are you doing for self-care? I said, well, every morning before I do create, I stretch for 15 minutes, and that's meditation. Basically, it feels really good. I'm going on at least 2 walks a day with Luna. It's about 40 minutes total. I'm getting out in the sunshine for 40 minutes. I'm getting a walk in. I'm usually journaling before bed, or reading a little bit of personal growth, or just fantasy. Honestly, I've been reading more so fantasy, and watching a little reality TV, like more so on the weekends. Like yesterday, I watched 2 hours of Love is Blind because, oh my gosh, this season is wild. But besides that, that's been it. That's been what I've had time for. And that little bit has really filled up my cup. And exercise. I exercise 5 days a week usually. So that's been really, really big. But overall, feeling pretty grounded considering, and I'm really excited for next week. I'm actually really pumped. And I recommend, even if you're not considering joining my program, if you're not ideal client for it, you're at a different point in your journey, whatever the reason might be, I still recommend following really closely and just watching what I do. I always recommend doing that for anyone you respect, which if you're listening to this, I'm sure you respect me. Otherwise, why would you be listening to my podcast? Anyone you respect or admire in some way, or like how they run their business, watch them when they launch, watch them when they sell, watch them when they're in a busier season or a growth season, or they're putting themselves out there, and just ask yourself why they're doing that. Now, I always say this, if you're in this part where you're comparing, or in like that kind of comparison hole that we can fall into sometimes, then maybe not do it then, right? If you can approach it as more of a detective and go, why is she doing that? Why did she approach it that way? Or why'd she do this first and second and all that stuff? I recommend doing that. Obviously, if you're considering Smart Online Success Accelerator, which I hope you are, because I would love to have you, then you're going to want to pay attention, not just for that, but also so you get all the information you need to make the most educated decision. Is this the right program for you? And I'm going to be giving you a lot of really good stuff to consider over the next week or so. I have no doubt by the end of our launch, you will have full knowing if this is right for you. So that being said, to close this out, I wanted to tell you about this free lesson that I am giving to anyone. Honestly, I sent out an email to my challenge peeps. So if you were registered for the challenge, you already got that, but I wanted to make sure that I told my podcast peeps too. So let me hold on one second. Let me bring up the name, because I don't want to butcher the name of my own lesson. Okay, so this lesson is called Purpose of the Post, Attract, Nurture, Sell. And it's one of the very first lessons inside phase 2 of my Smart Online Success Accelerator program called Content and Conversations. So if you were in the challenge, you just outlined incredibly amazing storytelling content specifically to sell your offer. If you weren't, that's what we did this week. The replays are up and available. So if you do want the replays, make sure you're opted in, and you will get an email with those replays. But as I taught in today's training, it's so weird recording these early. You're like, this is coming out on Friday and that's the day. But as I teach in day 3's training, there's more that's needed to sell your offer consistently than just story content, right? Story content, I think, can be the majority, but you do need some other pieces. And so it's really important to put out specific content based on where you're at in your business and where your customer is at in the journey. So this episode, I was going to say episode, this lesson includes content to attract new followers, shareable content to deepen your relationship with your current audience, savable content, and content that makes your audience take action, sales content. I'll walk you through 3 different types of content you need to be doing before someone trusts you enough to buy your offer. It comes complete with examples that you can save and reference for the future. So even if you decide not to join us inside Smart Online Success Accelerator, fingers crossed that you will, you'll still be able to get what I teach you inside this lesson. And it's pretty short. It's a very short lesson. It's not long. I think it's like 15 minutes or so. The longest is me showing you the examples of this, but it's one of those like, oh yeah, I have to be intentional. If you're not intentional with your content and you're just posting to post, or you're like, oh, this seems like a good piece of content, there's got to be a rhyme and a reason, and you have to be taking people through a journey, right? What is your intention? Do you want to attract new people? Do you want to nurture your current people? Or do you want to be sending them somewhere? Do you want to send them to a specific link, right? And just a note, this program that I'm going to be launching next week, it's not one of those like find it on YouTube kind of surface level program. It is so involved and it gives you all things client attraction to really, really build such a solid business that's bringing in a reliable, that is the key word, steady stream of clients consistently. Even if you do not have a huge following on Instagram or you feel like there's not enough room for you in the crowded online space, that's exactly what this program is going to help you do. It opens on Tuesday, next Tuesday, the 18th. And so this lesson is kind of like a nice sneak peek for you to see my style of teaching, and you actually get to see everything else that's in the program. You obviously don't get access to the lessons. Those are locked, but you'll get to see the names of it. You'll get to see how it's all laid out. So it's a really, really great opportunity. So highly recommend, if you want this free lesson, completely free. I'll have it available probably until a few days before we close cart. So once you get it, go through it, because it's not going to be open for more than a week. So definitely take advantage of it. Go to the link in the show notes, but you can also go to meganyelaney.com/SOSA, just SOSA. You'll see the landing page, the sales page for the program. So you get to read all about the program, and the buttons to actually buy are to the free lesson. So you can't buy it yet. It doesn't open until the 18th. The buttons on there will go directly to the free lesson. So yeah, that's my gift to you, my friend, on this beautiful Friday. If you're listening to this later on, and months later, that probably expired, but you can go check it out. We might be in a waitlist situation at that time. But I just want to, again, thank you for giving me this incredible space to just let all of my stressors out. I feel like this is therapy for me. And I just want to take you behind the scenes. I love being honest about what we're doing, why we're doing it, all of that. I've been doing this free lesson for about, I guess it's been a year and a half. I started it when I started working with a funnel strategist, and he suggested it and I loved it. He's like, I really recommend you do this strategy. And I loved it. I thought it was really cool. I was like, this is a great idea. Give them like a little taste, and people get to actually go into the portal. I use Kajabi personally, and they get to see everything. And there's no guessing. They get to see what they're going to get. Obviously, they can't get access to the lessons or the worksheets or the downloads, because why would they buy if you gave them everything? But they get to see a little sneak peek and see how robust your program is. So I really love it. We've been doing it for, again, about a year and a half now, and I'm really liking it. So go get your lesson, link in the show notes. Thank you for being an incredible community. I'm so grateful for you. And I just feel like over the last few months, especially with all this stuff that's been going on, I feel really grateful to have this outlet, to be quite honest. So thank you, my friends. I will see you in next week's episode, and for Open Cart for Sosa.